But making a stronger community often means building a talent pool. You look in many parts of the world, and around plants, it's extreme poverty. It builds a relationship between the plant and the community that is not healthy. But if I use our plant in Brazil, Sao Paulo, Brazil, is in a very, very poor community. But what they've done is they've built a healthcare clinic, they've started a neighborhood school, they've started an organization for a community center where women can find various types of employment, sewing and a bunch of different things. That has begun to build a healthy community that we can draw our talent from, that our employees want to live in, and it just sort of is self-propelling. It also helps improve our brand. I mean, many of the people around the world see Cummins as a good place to work and a good place to buy from. So, I mean, it's all related in together. Now, one of the things we've learned is that engaging with your communities and engaging to make the world a better place is one of the best training grounds for talent we have. If you can work in the community with a lot of people that don't report to you, who don't make a lot of money, and you're trying to solve a problem that has been a problem in a community for years and years and years, and you can figure out how to make a difference there, you can figure out how to make a difference in operating a plant. As an example, in a food pantry, a local food pantry, they did a project, they've done it in a couple of communities, but food pantries take in a lot of food, and then they have to figure out how to get it out in the community in a logical way. So they use some of our business skills and our Six Sigma skills around logistics to help them figure out how to do it better. Those people learned how to manage processes that they didn't control. It was a great training exercise for everybody. They also built relationships. A lot of corporate responsibility is around building collaborative relationships and long-term partners. And that's been a great learning for all of us as we've gone through this journey. But everyone has a role in solving problems in the community. Government has a role, churches have a role, the service organizations have a role, individuals have a role. But companies have a role too. And in many ways, we are uniquely positioned because we bring teams of people. We often bring the ability to work with other companies and get them to the table. We're not limited by politics. I worked in government, and I understand that there are political limitations to governments. We don't have a short-term view. We have a long-term view about things. And we bring talents and training that many of these groups don't have. We bring trainings around plants and operations. We bring technical training. We bring financial training. We bring Six Sigma training, a lot of training that we can bring teams of people to help solve problems that those groups do not have. And so it would be a waste of a huge level of resource if companies didn't participate in helping solve problems. But we should not see it as us solving them. It's our participation and collaborating with others. Because when I see it fail is when we come in and say, we've got the answer, and just take our word for it. One of the organizations that we have been working with is something called Earth University, which trains primarily poor kids from Latin America, rural areas of Latin America, in sustainable agriculture, leadership, entrepreneurship, etc. It's a wonderful institution. We could have just supported them by writing them a check. But what we've said is we want to create a long-term partnership, so we help them financially. We also have certain metrics that they're trying to achieve, what kind of impact they're having. But we send people down periodically that can help train them on Six Sigma, can help them with communication, can help them run their business operations more effectively, can help them fundraise. So we try and do it in teams to help them. It helps us too, because it helps give those who are participating a view of how you solve a problem when you are in an environment that is totally different than what you have. And another example is, and something we're really working on now, is as we enter new markets, You know, if you go back and you use the India example, is when we entered India, we started doing some things with educating women in engineering. But as we enter new markets, how are we going to fundamentally make a difference? And what are the things that are barriers to us being successful there? So in Africa, for example, we have a number of locations around the countries in Africa where we are really getting started. There are a couple of barriers. One is we need more technical training. We have the lack of a skilled workforce in many of the parts where we're trying to operate. And the second is some infrastructure needs so that it is a good place to work. And so as we go in there, trying to think about how are we going to have an impact to make that better, so it's not only better for us to operate and a long-term growth opportunity for us, but also better for them. And we're very fortunate to have people like Mr. Miller, who 40 years ago started thinking about that in India, so now we're really well positioned there.